Nirvana Mata Part 2, a Helldivers 2 project, featuring Pandura, the radio angel, written by Lumenaught, narration created by the author. Chapter 1. At the curtain's end, I stand alone, lost again, bound by guilt and sin. Ouroboros deja vu? Old gold. I don't know how I came to this world called Heavenland. Was I born here? Logically, it would seem so, since half-elves like myself roam freely about this realm. Yet why do I doubt, and feel alien to this tropic paradise where it is almost never winter? Regardless, this is the beginning. This is where it starts. Let's start with not being naked. Rags from this ruined furniture will do for now. I shave my head to tend to my wound properly. I may look peasant poor, but it's better than crazy. Or one would hope attractively crazy. I awoke in the morn with blood upon my brow and a pain in my mind that was more than physical. Hit from behind. They stole my equipment, but they robbed me of my memories. This empty tome, and within a quill, were a few feet away. The inside cover speaks my name, while all other pages remain blank. Happy birthday, John. Love, E.A. Love? A sister? Wife? Close female companion? The person that did this to me? Or is John the one who preyed upon me and dropped this? Am I perhaps the one who attacked and was stealing these items? I wish I could remember. John. Is my name John? I discover along the cart wreckage a belted satchel and a purse knapsack. Sealed within, a knife, a key, a strange symbol, and a handkerchief that says Cyber Rock Cafe. Within the purse, I find about 15 silver. The bag is tied with the same ribbon as this tome's marker. A gift as well, then. I search the ruins of my broken and disregarded as worthless former life once again. It seems to be household goods and destroyed furniture. Nothing usable or even in one piece. The tracks show my arrival by a large bird of some type. My adversary wore boots and is lightweight. There is a light dragging over the tracks. My tracks are in wooden sandals. I discover their remains shortly after, suffering a similar fate. Cut in half. I note a light cut across both my palms. I used them as a shield to grab a hold of my adversary's sword. It hurts trying to remember. Following the fowl's tracks led me to the poor beast. Slain painlessly, at least, but slain nonetheless. The tracks show a chase, one with my pet in pursuit. This oversized yellow fowl bravely attempted to avenge me. Or did I ride it here and there are just no tracks back? Bird, even if we were not friends before, I will count you among those that loved me and never forget you. I keep the leather saddle, should I ever ride again. I have a tattoo on my back. I remember this is my clan symbol. The saddle bears my clan insignia upon it, same as this tome. Curious. My possessions' execution shows a degree of skill. They are cuts and not cleaves, yet the executioner ambushes me and runs from my mount? Curiouser. I deduce that my aggressor was one with a skillful blade, a preference for speed, yet lacking strength, and with a dragging cloth in their step. None of my possessions stolen, only my personal gear taken, and everything else ruined from combat. An assassin, thief, or perhaps some kind of sword master? I've come one step closer to finding them. I am going to find them. Tonight I write this with a bloody bandaged head, a stomach full of a once loyal friend, and a cremation pyre for a life and of an old life. This fire burns light. It brings light. A light that allows me to see my future. This light brings about new fire. One within. My future is vengeance. I sleep now under the shadow of stars. If they wish to judge me for my personal justice, I will ask them where they were to prevent my tragedy. I trust they will not interfere with my stride for the one responsible. Should a star come before me without truth, I will slay it for lying by omission. Rest takes my eyes now. Perhaps closed they will show me what I cannot while awake. I must remember. I will remember. I may see a dream, but I will make my desire a reality. End log, day 1. I awaken once again to no memory. The sun looks directly back at me. It's almost noon. I must have been more hurt than I thought. I instantly note that my wounds are fully healed. This is baffling. I check my face to see how many days' growth I have taken on, and find no more than expected. I next note the death around me. The grass and any other plant life around me has passed from this world. I look where I awoke yesterday and find the same, only on a grander scale. I feel an eerie truth about me yet undiscovered. Perhaps I was left for dead, or died and brought back. I find this thinking disturbing. I take only what I can carry and my clan logo. I note a bamboo staff cut in half into 2 escrimer sticks, each heavy with battle damage. Immediately after holding them, I remember how to use them. Staffs, sticks, spears, lances, and pole-orientated weapons. I feel this is my preferred choice of tool. I quickly fashion another bamboo quarterstaff from the nearby pond. I relearn quickly that I'm pretty good at throwing this pocket knife of mine. I notice something within the ashes of the spent pyre. A fire flower does not grow idly upon the land. This must have been hidden within one of my possessions used to cremate and cook my feathered friend. The heat must have awakened it. I remember my sister used to keep these with her, but not her name or her looks. Small steps, but steps. I conclude it was her that gave me these other 2 gifts. I feel a strange knowledge of the land, almost déjà vu, and not in the woodsman sense. I'm on the move. The road is before me. Now, left or right? End log, day 2. After turning right and following my prey's tracks, I travel the land to the nearest town. I can't help but know my way without a compass, road, nor map. I also know where tracks are without seeking them out, and though I feel no knowledge of the field and woods, I know them as if I am viewing them remotely in my mind. Have I been here before? Am I some ranger? Or is this just natural for an elf? Or a half elf? I think writing this log would be easier if this quill had an eraser. End log, day 6. I have found tracks of my booted bounty within the field. Even the stealthiest assassin must step underfoot at one point or another. They go toward the same town I traveled to, and this foot traveled about 2 days ahead. The step is slow and heavier than the previous. As well I note the feeling of light blood in the land. I see my prey didn't walk away unharmed, yet also travels without fear of reproach. They have already forgotten concern of me. For now we see through shadowed steps. Soon we shall see face to face. They will remember me soon enough. End log, day 9. I have arrived in a small town not even on the maps they sell here. I re-equip and get some straw sandals, wool pants, a black leather belt, water gourd, wool bracers, and a black headband. I buy a fireproof torch and combine it with a staff and fire flower to have a better lighted walking stick made. I trade what little I have and, to my shame, able to steal in the process. I search for memories of any familiarity. I come to a hotel that vibrates remembrance. I ask them to check for my name in their log history. They find it 15 days past, and I ask for the employee that tended to me that night. She remembers me, to my embarrassment. I flirted with her. She assumes I'm interested due to my return. I tell her my situation. She is less than understanding. What she knows about me is little, save that I was moving back to my old home in the swamp, and was a geomancer with a religiously spiritual childhood upbringing. Funny that for such a man of holiness, teaching, and wisdom, I am not the forgiving type. I asked if anyone asking about me after I passed this way. She said a pale man in a black coat did. I asked if he was short, and if the coat was to his feet. It was the same man, but for which species is unknown. I assume a full elf. He has a face scar, nothing more. To find my future, I must first know my past. I will travel to the nearest temple of Bela, in the northern town about 250 leagues from here, 7 to 8 days by foot. This traveling business was probably easier with that blasted bird to ride on. End log, day 12. Age of Bela, 22 Oxy, 15874. I attempt to barter a ride from a few tradesmen along the way. They are wise not to accept an opportunity to be robbed. Not by myself, of course. Perhaps in this manner is how I came to be in my new sandals, of which they remind me of a childhood I can't remember. This line of thought starts to mess with one's mind. For me, that may be more than one can handle. Questions and questions. There is a curiosity and a wonder, but also the powerlessness and frustration of being out of place, with no connection nor familiarity to anyone or thing. It makes one feel they don't belong anywhere. The only comfort is the cool flow of the spirit of Bella within the world, or maybe just her mana? Yet why do I feel her presence lessen than of the times past? Her will shall guide me through this ordeal, but my will shall conclude it. I wonder if I really believe in Bella, or play the part to re-become myself. How many parts must I play? If the game is afoot, then I shall begin the hunt. Enemy, I may track you like a dog, yet you shall die like one. End log, day 16, Age of Bella, 26 Oxy, 15/8/74. Chapter 2. Entangled in Light. Fate twins lives of unseen thread. A breath shared in time.
We don't know why or how he's dying. His brain was using Shinik abilities when it died, and now his digital intelligence has gone comatose. We believe some form of quantum entanglement is involved.
Joel Jonathan Brash. I arrive at the Temple of Bella. This vision of beauty stands with the strength of all that strives for balance. It's true. It says so on the lintel header of the main door. Justice's balance, so I enter. I soon become addressed as cleric by the cleric presiding the greeting at the door. He is curious as to not only why I am there in such garments, as well as why my mithril armor that I left was placed into the donation box not a day before. No information of how or who. I know of only one who could. I inform my fellow followers of my situation. Fortunately, I spent 10 years here, learning to be a monk and geomancer, cleric of Bella, or elemancer to these zealots. They know a great deal about me and my deaf sister Echo, Blue Ash. I was born and raised in the swamps. My parents saved their money to buy my apprenticeship here. I made them proud, learning to read and write, learning martial arts as well as weapon combat from the monks, and workings as an undead slayer for the Bella clergy. I remember my father, proud when he attended my ascension to Master Monk. I moved on to being a geomancer after 5 years of mastery of the monk combat skill. This explains my comfort in the land and dislike for the city. I ask for my armor returned, and my brothers cannot honor my request. I fail to understand why. Once in the donation box, it becomes the will of Bella who may wear her mantle. I feel like that was worded as a dry joke of truth. My fellow clerics are mostly scholars that need more field action. My brethren here assumed that finding my armor meant that I had either given up being a cleric or was dead. Either way, I would not be coming back for it. They offer me a chance to remember my training, and if I succeed, they will return what I have earned once before. What other option do I have? To face my enemy again without skill or protection? Yet the trail will chill if left unattended. I weigh my fate heavily and know that this enemy came for me once, and likely will again when learning of my breathing. Our day is likely fated. His previous failure is proof that he is not meant to succeed. They take me to my former room. None of my disposable items remain. They tell me that I was going to attend my father's funeral and was intending to move into his home, as well as set up a shop there to end the undead infestation within the swamplands. When I ask about my sister, they know nothing more, nothing new. End log, day 20. Age of Bella, 30, Oxy, 15, 8, 74. Why do I feel the need to write this? Must be to validate my existence and give form to my thought. How pathetic and small of me. Still, all action and influence can be innately evil by an objective and perhaps even a subjective as well viewpoint. One way or another. It's simple. The more one thinks about it, the worse it gets. My retraining has been completed. My muscle memory has allowed me to learn in hours what takes months or years to learn. In some cases, I have only viewed a technique I once possessed and was able to perform it. I also have the thirst for knowledge that only students can crave. I have been told that I have surpassed my previous level with the same speed that I had remembered what was lost. It is slightly unsettling that my mind in its current state has granted me a higher mastery that my former self never could have known. Regardless, I am now a master-level Elemancer. The clergy tells me that I have all the necessary skills to attain the cleric title. So they gave the title to me with all that is granted with it. They are fools. I haven't earned it. In order to be granted such, I would be needed to trade the desire for vengeance. Even if I'm unworthy, so are they for granting it. They haven't forgotten. I haven't told them. I didn't think to. It should be too high a price for me to risk it, but I will not lie by omission. I will risk unveiling my evil, even if I may hinder its fruition. What have I become? They are less than pleased with what I am. The jungle is the true evil of society, yet without it, all life dies. The jungle is the victim of society, as it dies to feed the city fire, and is poisoned by city waste. The forest can't fight back. It needs someone or something to fight for it. This is why the king of the jungle is not a bunny. If the leaders of the forest are the harbingers of the garden, then their enemies will become the soil to feed it. There is no waste, only unused resources. Time to use my motivational resource once again. What should I do? What do I need to do? I will leave the day after tomorrow to ensure there will be no more stagnation in my quest. End log, day 44 and 45, Age of Bella, 23 and 24, Flu, 15-8-74. Chapter 3. Vengeance burns the edge. Prideful rage forgets suicide. Reason lives in death.
No, it's the DI virus I worked on. He's dreaming some of his last memories and most of his last emotions. He's losing himself to the dream. Then he'll forget himself completely. He's trying to remember, trying to rebuild himself. Let's inject a solid memory to stabilize him, like a letter or song. It'll work like a vaccine, killing the dream without killing him.
Dr. Isabel, Alexis, and Harryar. I have redonned my armor, and under it I wear a leather-belted bodysuit that will provide a good deal of protection with mobility. Additionally, if one belt shall fail me or be destroyed, it is easy to replace it, and my armor mounts easily to the straps to begin with. The junior monks and clerics have fetched me some wooden sandals, and the tabbies socks needed for them. I thank them in turn with the last of my silver. I have fashioned a spear to replace my staff already. A staff is too kind a weapon for who I intend to use it against. I think whoever attacked me may have also killed my father, and I may yet discover his vendetta leading to my sister. That is where I must go, to learn what has happened of her. The messenger returned over a week ago stating she could not be found. I wonder if my quest for vengeance makes me the villain. Death itself is not evil, only a tool of nature against the weak. To me, if we all get what we deserve in the next world, what does it matter if life ends? If we don't, we only rid the world of more evil. Due to the evil combating evil the most often result, the only moral issue becomes free will, and due to the fact it's a man with free will doing this against a fellow man, I don't see the issue. Perhaps I view my task as a necessary evil, but one warps logic to avoid blame of fault. My memories fade into my mind slowly, and yet I don't know what to do with that knowledge, what I've learned. I still don't know who to thank for the blade that was placed within me. It is enraging not being able to return such favors. As a half-elf, I have 125 years of life left to search, with no guarantee of finding my prey again. Most will do anything to keep from going insane when confronted with a lifetime on their hands. Still, insane people can do almost anything with their lack of inhibition. So, who is better off? The moral or the nihilistic? The one alive or dead? True freedom becomes the enemy of justice. How funny. Cleric funny. End log. Day 48. Age of Bella. 27 Flu. 15/8/74. I've noted the only writing I do is when I travel. Luckily, I travel more than I think I enjoy. I can't really say since I still don't know myself very well. I don't even write anything important, really. I still haven't written my name in my own hand. John Ash is my name. However, my entire life is of relative unimportance. My service to Bella, my missing memories, my revenge, matters little to you, the reader, whoever you are, even if you are me. We do such trivial and useless things with our lives. We obsess over materialism rather than view wealth as a means to an end of our objective. We value the easy path that drains our will and atrophies our strength. Even the right to use the difficult path is taxed upon entry more often than not. These are not complaints, these are facts. They are the seeds of wisdom against your own weakness. Should fate favor you, your own ineptitude can't compare to preparation for conflict. Even the weak cannot wield powerful weapons that fall unto their hands. Once ago, a book told me that all pain is in color. This combination of all pain made pure agony white. If I live my very life bathing in agony over unfilled rage, what then? I've seen those that would crave power to believe that until agony fears you, you rule nothing. When agony is your slave, you are a god. This is a lie. This is a trick of the darkness to corrupt all teachings of life. It tells you that if you are destroyed using evil, then you are too weak to deserve to use it. The trick is, evil uses you as its avatar. Evil holds no loyalty to its followers. Its nature is selfishness and deceit. It covets only its own power. Strength is only something in others to be destroyed in order to measure their own power. Strength is not power. Power can only destroy. Strength endures and upholds. That is why power is weak. It will always be temporary. Just like the agony they use as their weapon. Transcend agony, and it is not a weapon, even if it feels like it. It is just as the book said, only white. White is the reflection of light upon the world, and light is only earned through fire. Both light and fire are the means and tool of and to all truth. The irony, my first real memory returned, is how to deal with being miserable. I rant about it in ink. Why do I write? This is not to pretend enlightenment. I don't pretend to wear a cape or a mask. I don't hide. I don't try to gain success by lying by omission. This is just my truth. This truth is my face. See no shame on it or in what I am and all that I am. There is no envy in my eyes, only wrath. I would rather be who I am, not you, not anyone you could ever copy or steal identities from in 1,000 lifetimes. This lifetime needs to return to the lair that spawned it. This swamp dragon still has teeth. End log. Day 53. Age of Bella 1 Neo 15/8/74.
Okay, so like Looney is all gloomy, 'cause he can't see no more. His sister told me all about him being cheery and cute, and he was, but the whole burned eyeballs thing just totally ruined that. And he told me to write what happened, but I'm all like, that quill is huge and the wind moves it for me, not gonna happen. So the reader type person is gonna need to read real little while I use this baby grass pen. Right? So I was all helping with the dinner, and Echo is worrying about the fact Loom still hasn't moved in. Then like zombies show up and I'm freaking out. Nobody invited them for dinner. Who would do that? I think we had enough for everybody, but they just trashed the place and chewed up Echo. Ew, gross city. Why would you do that? I'm like, that's why nobody invites you to their house, you're smelly and bite people. I was screaming, but forgot Echo can't hear me, 'cause I was all so crazy scared. She never heard them coming, it's all my fault for not grabbing her. Now she's got the zombie rabies. Then they saw me and I hid in the spice cabinet for like weeks. Or a day or two, I forget. It was like living in pungent potpourri that makes you hungry. The dead bag started shuffling out finally, but I got too excited and was breathing hard. I sneezed and bunked my poor little head. When I woke up, it was all dark and Lou was there and he smelled like guy stink, but it was better than swamp zombie. He asked what happened and I told him I inhaled too much cilantro and he flips out. Men. Honestly, they don't even make the effort to understand us. Then the zombies show back up cause apparently, guy stink, is a delicious stench when you're a not quite dead revenant. Next thing I know he's trashing the place looking for a weapon other than his spear, which is now holding the door shut. So I tell him we've got kitchen knives, leftover blue cheese meatloaf, and a mini sunstaff. What does he do? He grabs the oil lamps. He starts greasing up the place, modern art style, plops the mini sunstaff in the middle of downstairs and tells me to fly out the chimney. There was no way I was going to leave the last of my adoptive family to zombies that are all like, nom nom. We flew to the second story of the house and waited till the house was filled with like 1,000 walking corpses, and he put me in his nasty mouth and lit the oil. What was he thinking? The power of the sun in each of those staffs. It caught fire and exploded in a mini supernova. He was blown out the window a football field away and into the swamp water. I was like, I finally just met the guy and he's covering me in his drool and now I'm in fish poop water. Then I'm getting his armor but on some wood as fast as I can and tugboating his dazed pointy ears to shore. What's the first thing he says when he wakes up? Not, are you okay? Or, thanks for not letting me become Gator Chow, or air is better than water in my lungs. Or even, let me make you something to eat. No, it's, please write what happened in the book. Like I'm gonna forget that my nummy meatloaf is in lower orbit when I spent hours making it. He's such a jerk. I mean, I'm Celia. I deserve better. Yeah, Louis got that nice abs thing going on and he's still cute even with the burns, but I'm dead sexy. You ever seen a black-haired fairy that can fit her skinny but through a keyhole? No? Well, thank you very much, I can. And, kerplowing, my home into firewood is no way to introduce yourself to a lady. This is too much, even for a Monday morning. Next time I'm making sandwiches.
Chapter 4. Dreams dark, silent end, sudden jolt, a breath of air, waking, life reborn.
He's stabilizing. He is out of the mental coma and responding like he's in digital sleep. I say we let him dream it off and wake up naturally. Whatever he's been through needs to fully heal.
Joel Jonathan Brash.
I've lost track of the days, despite the easy math. Almost a year. No. Over a year. The time is irrelevant to the tasks and goal required. I haven't forgotten them. In actuality, it's best if they have forgotten me. Stealth is one of the best weapons. My sight lies in geomancy. To feel the wood in the paper was the answer. It was difficult at first to focus constantly. Now I would consider my normal sight inferior to the almost perfect clairvoyance. All life holds its own color. However, you may have noted I now must script in blood to see my writings. It is my story, so I know whose blood must be used. Saelia is my constant companion, reading all I lack in vision. She has become the only love in my life. Her actions betray her speech. The complaints and worries are only voiced, yet her actions speak volumes. She cares for me deeply. It is said that a fairy can grant one wish in her lifetime. Just as my sister told her not to use it for her hearing, I have said the same for my vision. Her offer is a profound gesture, but not what she truly wishes for herself. She still thinks in the terms of flesh, unable to see the scope of her own ageless lifetime. She can barely remember Echo anymore. I don't trouble her over it. I've learned her memory is limited considering the size of her brain and the almost immortal lifespan. It's likely why she's so cheerful, she's such a daft pinhead. I owe everything to her now. She's the only good thing in my life. I was blind and left with nothing. The floating girl, whose wings sound like faint wind chimes, begs me to move. The cries give away her despair of Echo and my possible coming death. I don't speak, only hush her calmly. She wears herself out and sobs apologies. I can't comfort her. There is no comfort in the place we are in. I can't tell anymore if it's tears or blood coming from around my eyes. I see no hope in this new darkness. The morning dawns with my light wounds healed. I can feel the death around me now like a deeper darkness. The epiphany happens. The world becomes blurs for feelings. Feelings as familiar as childhood friends of 30 years ago. I now know I will see again with my mind one day. I ask my winged love to scribe the day, for fear I shall forget or never have the chance. I meditate to sharpen my senses. Sahelia then brought humans to my aid. They've decided to rob me. They tell me they want to remove my armor to tend my wounds. I have no open wounds. I only need assistance to the nearest town. They use force, so I am forced to reply in kind. I may not see, but I can feel their hands grasp my arms. I don't need eyes to grapple. I throw them into the gutter after the bruising. I become a thief of thieves by taking one of their mounts. Sahelia finds my saddle in a tree a few hours later. The large tiger is quick to see that I'm much nicer, yet due to Sahelia being both a toy and a potential snack for him, I trade, Loke I think his name was, him in for a female bird mount back in town. I rename her Traxie. What the fowl lacks in tracking or hunting it more than makes up for intelligence and speed. Sahelia was also glad to stop hiding within my vest plate. As I remember, she had a few choice words about her time in there. She asked me to wash with mild oil extracts from flowers. I have to admit, I do smell better. However, there is something to be said for liking how girls smell and smelling like a girl. I still use oil extract in my soap, just not from flowers anymore. I digress. I still draw breath, therefore I must continue my quest. I've returned to the temple. They bend their rules for Sahelia to be my seeing eye fairy or some such. I knew I would be hiding behind safe walls from my enemy. I knew I could not win if challenged now. I needed to brood and build my strength. I still do. Knowledge is strength. The tracks are cold. So I must lay sheet webs and wait for the web of to snare my prey for me. End log. Age of Bella 26 Hell 15875. I found my prey some time ago. 7 years of failure rewarded. 7 years of bartenders, kayas, law endowment and bounty hunters being paid as informants. Bribes made possible by destroying corpses that still move and hunger. I sold what was left of the swamp plantation also. The irony wasn't lost on me that I had set fire to my sister's home in the explosion years ago. I seem to burn the lives I touch. Fitting I found a smoke rat to tell me where to go. A handful of coin is all loyalty is worth to the wasted. I have become strong, swift, skilled and formidable. All for what? This was not what I sought. Not this short, fat, balding, petulant, useless excuse for a human. Perhaps I still have my goal, but have I been robbed of my satisfaction? In only a few short years, this formidable opponent has become more likely to die of the mundane than any noteworthy effort or accomplishment. If I were to take his life, what would be lost? What pain of loss would he fear in those final moments? What do I do? What is fair and just? How I want his fear and pain. The death of this coward would not stave my hunger. He is so weak. There would be no pride in his death, no honor, no point. How much evil do I truly wish to use in my vengeance? Should I wait until he finds another to share his cesspool with? Wait until they copulate their own brood? When will it be ripe to strike? What will be the price he needs to pay for my pain? He has nothing worth destroying. This can't be justice without balance. All my effort to do evil to evil has been thrown to the fungal flowers if I do nothing. Nothing is what he changed me into. The nothing in my mind is all I have left from before 7 years. It is where all my agony grows rampant and the demons whisper of my pathetic escape from death. I've come to terms that these feelings will never go away. Nothing I do will ever change that. But someone must suffer for my suffering. Someone needs to die. End log, age of Bella 1 hide 15,881.
A chunk of his lip hung from his mouth. Half a tooth drooled to the floor, changing the spatter to a pooled combination of his leaked internal fluids. As the pool lengthened, his life shortened. It didn't happen due to blood loss. It happened due to no blood movement. Not unlike drowning, the body convulsed violently in an agonizing pain as each cell starved to death at the same time. The nerves were slave to their function, unable to grant mercy to their owner. Perhaps the mind died from the excruciating feeling, rather than being dragged down from the fall of the liquid flesh. Regardless, dead is dead. I can assure you, this man was evil in life. I will not elaborate. I will not speak ill of the dead. Whatever the horror he felt in its passing, it was a prelude overture to crescendo of death and the symphony of an afterlife of agony. The hell you planned for another became your own. Is it strange I shall mourn you? Is it strange that your enemy would want to provide a eulogy? I envy his conviction. Being resolved from the beginning, he confronted things headlong. A worthy adversary unlike any I have faced. He made me stronger and showed me that there was more to discipline than focus. He made me dead. You poisoned me before revealing your notice of me. You had assured victory before the battle even begun. I deluded myself thinking I was a cunning one, paying a hobo to live in a fake house in my name, spreading clues and feeding scraps for this bloodhound to find. A trap that played its part, and you used it, you played it against me. You let the trapper bind himself to the trap. You let me catch myself for you. Perhaps even a fake entry into these memoirs? Brilliant if so. A flawless performance. John Ash. Were it not for your honor to face me, you would still live. For what, I know not. It's obvious your story was not a comedy. No, you choose your life to wear another mask. I know this you. Now, I've read this new you through the pages. I didn't kill one man twice. I've killed two different men entirely. Speaking of which, forgive the desecration of your remains. I simply want you to stay dead this time. If your old life is given its own soul, may it be allowed into paradise by seer comparison of what you became. My reasons and who I am are my story. I will not disgrace these contents with my selfishness. The slow poison has caught up to me. I fear. These few days you gave me have been surprising. I know not which of us was the stronger. Our two battles proved nothing. However, I do know you have achieved a greater victory. Unlike me, you are at peace, for you knew, if entering heaven without completing thy vengeance would be hell, complete thy vengeance and accept damnation in peace. Bound by guilt and sin, I stand alone, lost again at the curtain's end.
Chapter 5 Honor or Pride?
You've done it? Wonderful. Amazing. There's no way the people of Cyberstan can ever thank you enough for what you've done. This cure has saved all our lives. Who knows, maybe even saved the human race. Joel did a digital sigh. That makes the rest of this even harder. You just gave us back all our lives. I can't take the chance of losing them. I've made a lot of tough decisions since I took this position. But none of them harder than this one. You saved us, but you'll kill us. I'm sorry. You're a hero and you have to stay.
Joel Jonathan Brash. Lumenaught had resigned his Helldiver commission, then finished the reading list from his former fellow Hell commanders, Deathless Lover and Duke Raven. He had also completed the Amber Chronicles, the Iron Druid, the Dresden Files. In a lot of ways, the over 30 novels could be from the same universe. Then he read everything from Matthew Stover, anything with Dritz Duerden in it, and decided to reread The Count of Monte Cristo. Not average 300 pages every 4 hours, and had audiobooked when his eyes were in use or overused. Exercise, bow fishing, and meditation filled his other hours. Say what you want about Super Earth, its library was 1,000,000 lifetimes long and free. Zegama Paradise was nothing but endless island beaches, so having an entire beach, let alone island, to yourself wasn't hard. One Toff brand tent, flint, and knife was all Naught needed. When he got the message Democracy Officer Pondura sent to his datapad that Isabel had disappeared, he contacted what was once his great-grandfather and cousin. Super Earth had finally finished their digital intelligence virus, and his cousin was almost its first victim. The digital quantum goddess Ponbella was now free of Cyberstan and mending Angel's venture back into a planet. It would be a hellscape of a world, but it would be a whole world once again. She considered the entire universe her own now, it seemed. Nothing like phenomenal cosmic power in the itty-bitty foam fabric to think you own the place, not considered. He couldn't think badly about her, though. She was mending his homeworld back into his homeworld. His world would not be destroyed. It would simply have changed. It's actually major-ana quasi-particles on nanowire, so technically that makes it a stable quasi-quantum computer that does actual quantum computing, Old Gold clarified. But she's not attached to process anymore. Somehow going through Meridia ended that limitation. Or she built or is building another processor and now does whatever she wants. She isn't playing sides anymore, it seems, otherwise she would free her mother. Not cancel delivery of a new water filter on his datapad. He was coming out of hiding. Not that he needed to save credits and just buy water. Hell, he didn't need the credits. Pondura had democracy officered that problem forever with a few choice words.
Several months ago, a good personal friend of mine theorized that because the gloom is made of spores, and spores are dense shelled organic components, they can be ionized. Charged particles embedded in mass create a magnetic field, and ionized particles can be manipulated through this means. Now, aren't you blonde to really understand all of what that means? But the takeaway from this is that by generating a low-frequency electromagnetic field, the gloom can be parted to allow safe passage. In honor of the man who devised such a technology, I am going to call this a Lumenaught field.
With Old Gold's help, he had filed suit against Super Earth and now owned the science of the anti-gloom technology, the Lumenaught field generator patent. After all, who argues with a democracy officer over who thought up an idea? The ministries, who cares which ones, honestly, wasn't happy about that. Not let them also be mad at him for building a Super Citizen Anne's hospital for very sick children on Zegama Paradise with the credits. Not look to Gold. Reinstate me to my ship, bribe the current Helldiver 1,000 super credits to cryosleep, buy this war bond, and send the Pelican to pick me up with this armor. Old Gold looked skeptical and showed not the kill order again.
At the Hermes press conference tonight, Primarch Romulus invited the head of the Chaos Divers, Radical, and made a sales pitch heavily emphasizing placing trust in the self-proclaimed dissident faction the Chaos Divers as trustworthy, calling for unity in confronting the Illuminate menace by focusing on the bug front. This was coupled with a similar bid to accept Chaos Marines as well. This push to spread the cancer that is chaos among the ranks of Super Earth's elite is high treason. It's clear to me that the Hermes Coalition is a poorly veiled outreach arm of the Chaos Divers and promotes undermining the efforts of Super Earth in protecting its citizens from annihilation. I have withdrawn from the coalition and have placed targeted kill orders on the member list for conspiring with dissidents and high treason. Primary target conspirator list. Ambassador Radical, Chaos Divers Command. Primarch Romulus, Hermes Coalition Command. Secondary target conspirator list. Calendar. Conway of the Genesis Divers. Commander Hunter of the 56th Blood Divers. Crash of the 77th Strike Regiment. Nod, formerly of the 88th Liberty Legion. OSO of the 14th Ursine Corps. Autotron Radio. Standing orders are to kill on sight and send proof to any democracy officer.
It doesn't matter, Gold. Once a Helldiver, always a Helldiver. I'm Medical Rescue Recon. Isabella needs rescue, and I'm the only one that can recon Cyberstan. This ain't about honor, it's about pride. Isabel chose to go back 'cause she helped make the virus. Chew and the Unharrier wives are square, even, and equal. Retire, have kids. Shoot, you already have all of Anne's 6 kids. What's your problem with living a peaceful and prosperous life? If Super Earth really wanted Chew dead, they wouldn't keep sending Chew super credits. You put back on that armor. Not only are you asking for a fight, but it's a fight I won't be a part of. That maid not stop moving. Gold, play Pandura's old radio broadcast on it. Old Gold did so.
The Chew-to-House regiment has similarly declared war on them to purge the cancer of chaos from Super Earth, with the goals of eliminating Ambassador Radical, Primarch Romulus, and not Oso and Autotron Radio. These reports are not yet confirmed. This could just be a bad actor who does not represent the 2.5th at large. You guys do know that Oso is a Faunus with a Earthside affinity, right? He's a bear that can tear Helldivers in full hell armor in half like a phone book. And going after Naught? Why? I mean, it's your funeral. I'm sure that he'll say some nice words over your corpse when he's finished thrashing you. Heck, Autotron Radio is one of the nicest people that I have ever met, and he was attending this press conference in my place because I had other engagements.
They didn't go after anyone on that list. They won't go after me. I ain't going back to Cyberstan. Give me to the Raven or to the Dead One. I know Chew ain't intended to come back. There was a pause and a sigh. That's fine, but I need you to do one more thing for me. This has been Nirvana Mata, Part 2, a Helldivers 2 project, featuring Pandura, the Radio Angel, written by Lumenaught, narration created by the author. I do not hold or own any rights to the Helldivers franchise. This has been a non-profit creation. Please donate to the Arrowhead-approved Save the Children charity organization. The author hopes you have enjoyed this program.